What's happening, you guys? Welcome back to the Let's Go Win podcast. You're in for a treat. It's not every day you have Emmy Award winners coming on the show, but this gentleman is one of those. Brandon T. Adams is a 2 times Emmy Award winning producer, TV host, media expert, investor, and advisor. He is the founder of Accelerant Media Group, which produces commercials, social media content, and TV shows that inspire and motivate others. Brandon co-founded Rise and Record, which is an event that is all about sharing your story through video content and helping others get their message seen through video. Brandon, what is up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing better now that I'm here. It's good to see you in person, or virtually here, and excited to share some wisdom with your audience.
I love wisdom, and the fact that you do what you do in this world that is obviously all about video, or it's certainly seems like that's the trend. I guess I'll start there, brother. Where and why video? How did this become your thing? It's like you popped out of the womb with a video camera and you're like, man, I'm going to be sharp. I'm going to be winning Emmys. This is my deal. Or was there a story to it?
There's definitely a story. It's funny, when I popped out of the womb, I think my dad put me to work right away. I actually started out selling ice for a living. My dad was in the ice business. He started in 1986. And so ever since I was a kid, I was throwing ice down to the truck, delivering to convenience stores and everything. And this story will lead up to how I even got into video. So did that throughout high school and even in college, and eventually bought the business from my dad. But I started to think bigger. I wanted to find other revenue streams for the company. And I invented this product called Arctic Stick to cool and flavor drinks. And so I spent a lot of time and money and got some patents, trademarks, and created this product. But on one part of the funding stage, I went to Kickstarter.com. This is back almost a decade ago. And what I did is I did a campaign, I raised some money, but I saw there was opportunity in the market to become a crowdfunding expert. And this was before it started really to become a big thing, crowdfunding. And so I started becoming that expert, going on shows, getting some gigs and everything. Did a few very substantial campaigns where we raised a lot of money. But I saw what our video assets that we created did for the campaign. And why is video so powerful? It's because video tells a story. And if you want to be great at sales, learn how to tell a great story. And you can tell a great story through a video. You can see somebody, you can feel the emotion behind it. There's so many things that come with it that allow you to build like and trust with an audience, but also gets them to know who you are, what you do, and how you can help them, but also they know why they should be buying. And so once I realized that, I had a guy that came to me and he said, hey, you helped me raise some money for my TV show pilot. I'll make you my co-host. Did that in 2016, did my first TV show, then did a couple more. And then I learned more of what the power of video does and storytelling in a documentary kind of style.
Yeah, man, you took that pretty quickly from selling ice to crowdfunding to TV show. That was impressive. You did tell a story. That's weaving some stuff in a lot of years, but that is really fascinating. So I guess my question is, clearly you're an entrepreneur, brother. I mean, you can see that, you can feel that. Anybody that crowdfunding, I mean, to take that and say, I got this and I'm going to make it a thing, that's remarkable in itself. So I guess, what are you doing now, Brandon? Because you can choose to do any and everything. I love, and I can't wait to talk more about how to properly do videos. How can people capitalize? Because I want to bring value to the audience, and there's a ton there. But what are you doing now, man? Because that's really interesting, that path that you've taken.
Yeah, so I started doing commercials and campaign videos for crowdfunding campaigns and did TV shows and everything. And I realized I wanted to keep mastering what my storytelling abilities, but I wanted to make a lot of money too. I wanted to build massive wealth through it. And so done the TV shows, still have that. And my wife and I do an event called Rise and Record, which is all about educating people about how to rise up and tell their story specifically through video. So that's like our way to really help people understand that process, why they should do it, and then show them how to do it. So that's one side of what I do now. But also from a business standpoint, I invest and advise in companies. I sit on boards, public, private, and I use my video talents for companies that I have part ownership in. So I was random. I was on shoot here in July with Carmen Electra for a commercial shoot. We did a shoot with Ric Flair, the wrestler, 3 months back. We did commercial shoots with different entrepreneurs. So I'm using my talents in video to help companies at the highest level, whether it's raising money as they go public or it's helping them with their marketing campaigns. So I realized that I wanted to take my time and energy and put it into companies I'm a part of so I could see the upside, but also see the biggest impact from that. And so that's what I do today. And it's a load of fun because I never know what I'm going to get myself into, from an AI company that literally can like do sales calls for you without you ever being there, to a beverage company, to products, to you name it, we're involved with it. And it's a load of fun. So it keeps me very lively. And again, I'm mastering my skills in different ways through video.
Well, and it's a skill, I think at this point, we all have to have a semblance of
Yeah.
being able to do it. Now, I'll use myself as the guinea pig because I'm technically challenged. Okay. This video we're looking at, it's a very nice camera. It causes me nothing but headache. And
Yeah.
there's so much that I don't know what I don't know. I guess my point is to those that are sitting here going, cool, Brandon, I want to do video. Where do I start? Is it literally take out your iPhone and just go there? Should I be buying this Black Magic camera that JM's talking about that creates nothing but headaches for him? Where do I start, brother? And again, that's just for me, video for some people I watch, it's like easy. They do it all the time. But for me, it's a challenge, man. And I love telling stories. I love talking. But once you put that camera up, it's like, man, that's some work.
Yeah, there's two sides. One, like if I bought the Black Magic 2, I'd be like, what do I do with this? I still would be like that. I mean, I bought my first camera in June of 2014, and it was a Canon 70D. And I had it for how many years, and I still didn't totally know how to run it. And I always put the right people in place to run those kind of cameras, from the C100s, the shows, literally creating TV shows and films. But the easiest way for you to start is with a phone. It is like, you got an iPhone, you got an Android, you use that phone to create videos. Because the thing is, when you get a camera like we're talking about, you got to press a button, you got to record it, you got to take the SD card out, you got to go put in your iMovie or whatever, you got to try to edit. I mean, these are things, I mean, you could give somebody else, but there's so many steps. I do it every single day. I could take out my phone, I could start recording videos, and I can take that video. If I want to do an edit or something, I can. I don't need to. I upload it to social media. I upload it to the world. Within 10 minutes, I can have video that will go to Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, all these different platforms. And I didn't have to do all the other things we talked about before. And so that's where I would say start with your phone. So that's the first thing. Just start with your phone, record, put up. The second part is people will be like, what do I even talk about? And they're afraid to be in front of the camera. Well, there's a few things here, and these are very specific. If you took anything away from this interview, this could be huge for you. Write them down, re-listen to this. You share who you are, do, and how you help people. Who you are, what you do, how you help people. Now, who you are you as a person? My name is Brendan T. Adams. I'm from Northeast Iowa. I grew up in the ice business and went on to do crowdfunding and now help people with video and invest advising companies. So you share specifically who you are as a person. Share your background. Maybe you got a family. Like, what is your background? Because people buy from people. They buy from people they like, trust, and know. So share who you are as a person. What you do, be very specific. Like, what is it that you do? You help people sell more of this product. You help people use video, whatever it is. And when you consistently do that, people know you as that. That's what building a brand is. And so consistently share who you are, what you do, and then how you help people. And how you help people, hey, come attend my event at riseandrecord.com. Go attend my event, buy tickets, work with me, or whatever you do. Like, just tell them directly where to go, your website, what's your call to action. What I just shared there, that is really the emphasis of everything that you share. And some other things that can make it easier for you is sharing stories. So you think about when you sit around a campfire, we're sharing a story with each other. Like, we're talking about this experience we had on a shoot in Ohio and we did this and whatever. Think about how you can use stories into the videos that you create that share past experiences of things you've done that can relate with your viewer. An example could be sharing an experience with a past client you've had of what you did, how that worked, describe who that client is, you don't have to say their name, and how it helped them achieve something. So what you actually are doing there is you're just sharing a story of something that already happened, but also what you're doing is that viewer might say, that person is me in the story. I want to be that person that gets helped. I want to work with Brandon. So share stories. And when you can learn to master your storytelling process, whether it's on a video, speaking events, a film, podcast, whatever, you can master sales and you can master the process of enrolling others into what you do, but also make an impact. So that, my friends, is really what to take away from it is use your phone, share who you are, what you do, how you help people, and do it consistently. Because if you do it for 5 days or a couple of weeks and then stop, you're not going to get the results you want. It's a consistent thing, but make it a part of your lifestyle.
Yeah, I think that's one of the challenges, at least for myself, being that, again, I love being present. I coach on being present, be in the moment. And every time I go, we're in a conversation, I go, wait a minute, Brandon, let me go ahead and hit this record. It's like, now I've immediately taken myself out of the present moment. Now, that's an extreme example of two buddies just hanging out, but I see it all the time. I see it in this world where it's like, you're having a conversation there. Hold on, I'm going to record this. And I don't know, man, for me, and maybe it's just me talking, it feels really not uncomfortable because I have no problem being in front of the camera. It just feels unnatural, perhaps. Does it become habitual? Does it become where it's not so much? Is there an art to this? Obviously, I'm talking to an Emmy Award winner, so there is an art to it.
Yeah.
But what any suggestions to that, brother? Because I know you want to capture the real moment, but man, can it really be the real moment if you're like, hold on, click? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally know. For one, the only way to get good at anything is by doing it more than once. Like consistency, it's like muscle memory. And I always tell people, create videos around what's happening in your life that's most inspiring to you. So like I look at my life as my own film. And so where I go today or tomorrow, I could create content and tell that story with the world based on that experience. So I look forward when I travel because I'm going to document the journey and share because I meet so many people and that person might give me an idea for a video and I'm like, I'll just go shoot that video. I may not necessarily in the moment sometimes with things that are very like, I really want to experience it. I might not shoot a video. I might have a videographer film me at that moment, but it's all about doing it part of your lifestyle and sharing your experiences and sharing your wisdom. And when you have an idea, you could be at the gym. I do this all the time. And you have an idea that pops in your head. I want you always to think about how can I create a video around this? Because here's why video is so powerful. It'll help you grow your business, all that. I know that. But video is powerful because your thoughts, your ideas, your value that you give to the world, you can only give that to so many people one-on-one. But in the world of social media, if you can take that and capture that experience and that wisdom and that thought and publish it to the world, people, for one, who need your help will hire you. 2, you might save somebody's life. 3, you could literally come across somebody that could be life-changing for you and what you're doing. It can help you impact more lives and get to wherever you want to go because more people know about you. It's marketing. The more people that know about you, the more you can make more money, the more you can make more impact, the more you can do more things. I'll give you an example. I did a Facebook Live in 2016. I was in my backyard. I was still in the ice business. It was before I sold it. And there were 8 viewers. 8 viewers. I remember this very, like, as if it was yesterday. And I was preaching about Think and Go Rich, the principles of Think and Go Rich, because I'm a huge advocate of the book Think and Go Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I shared that. And one of the people that was on the live was a guy named Joel. And he saw that and he DM'd me and then we did a call after. He was producing a movie called Think and Go Rich, The Legacy. And they were about 30% into the project. And he saw how much I loved the book. He saw I was a crowdfunding expert. And that conversation led to me becoming a producer of that movie and then being the youngest guy featured in the movie, and went on. We were in 3 languages, been seen by millions of people. I was a huge part of that project just because I shared some wisdom with the world on a Facebook Live. That's one example of how powerful a video can impact your life and impact the lives of others.
That's wild, man. 8 people watching. And
8 people, that's it.
that, I'll tell you what, guys, everybody listening, I'm talking to myself right now too. When you're on there and you're like, dude, that had like 7,000 views, and you're like, that sucks, man. I put a lot of work into it. Brandon just said 8 human beings, and
8.
the trajectory of his life definitely changed to a large degree due to that one live. So it's not always about the quantity, rather than it's the quality, man. You're putting out a good product, and somebody said, yeah, man, I like this dude. Let's put him in the movie.
You don't need 1,000,000 viewers. Heck, you could have 100 viewers. You could have 2 viewers. It takes 1 view, and that 1 view could change your life. And once you realize that 1 view, that 1 life-changing example, you're going to be addicted to it, because you're like, oh, I never know. When I'm not feeling like doing a video, I'm going to do a video because I'm like, that could be my next $1 million deal. That could save somebody's life. And so that's how I look at it. And then you get over the fact of how you're feeling that day or how you're going to look on camera. It's not about you. Get over yourself. It's about what you can do for other people. So it's overcoming that fear of how I look or what I'm going to say. You just got to do it.
That's fascinating. I got to imagine, brother, do you get pitched ideas all the time because of your background to be like, dude, I got a great idea. This is going to be the next blah, blah, blah TV show. Does that happen literally on a daily basis?
Well, let's put you in perspective. My background is fundraising. I've raised 65 to 70 million in terms of projects I'm part of. I'm a TV producer, I have shows. I'm an investor, and my main business partner was on Shark Tank for multiple years. So you can imagine how much I get pitched. Every single day I get pitched. Somebody asks me for money. Somebody wants me involved. They pitch me a TV show. They pitch me this. Yes. And I'm grateful. Don't get me wrong. Like, there was a time where nobody wanted my time or nobody pitched me, but it can be draining sometimes because I could be in the bathroom taking a piss and I'm getting a pitch. So let's just put it in perspective. Like, I'm always getting pitched. And so that's, I guess, one of the things that comes with what I do.
That's interesting, because as you're talking, I'm like, dude, he's got to meet this guy because he does this amazing thing. And I'm like, I'm about to pitch him on something, even though it's not mine, but your expertise, your ability to do something is unique, or at least to me, it's unique. And it's so compelling because that's the deal. I mean, I don't know about you, Brandon, but I look around and you see these amazing human beings everywhere. But if they're not known, it really doesn't, it sounds terrible, but if you're not bringing value to a lot of people, what is that, that you're leaving? And that's the guy that popped into my head. I mean, he is world class, but he's only known to this small group. And I mean, it is wild what this guy can do. Anyway.
One point to be saying there though, JM, is like, let's say how you can make a lot of money. The saying is the riches are in the niches. And if you have a specialized knowledge, like, you could be a known, like, let's say a celebrity to 1,000 people. But if those 1,000 people want to work with you, that's huge for your business. You could grow a $100 million business for that. But I look at it too, beyond your niche. If you're like really catered into 1,000 people, but also you can be known to more people, the more people that know you and like you and trust you, not only the more money you can make, but also the bigger impact that you can make as well. And so there's a way to look at that. And that's why for me too, there's some days like I could see where people don't want to be known because they have no life. They can't even go out to public. But you don't have to be a so-called big following influencer to make an impact, but it can help if you're doing it the right way.
Yeah, no, I love that word impact. And, I'm looking behind you and I'm thinking this kid from Northeast Ohio, Iowa.
Yeah.
I'm putting myself in your shoes because, again, I'm from Montana, Midwest feel. You don't talk about yourself, man. You don't brag about yourself. That is very looked down upon. However, the challenge there, and I was writing a script that my media firm is like, brag about yourself, please. Can you tell them what you've done? Because if you don't, people don't have the validation, some of the credibility. So my question to you is, did you struggle with that at all, brother? To be like, hey, this is what I've done, not to brag, but
Yeah.
rather to say, this is what I've done. So there is credibility, so that this is what I've done, so I can really help you. How is that for you in a journey? Because I know a lot of my listeners, whether they want to verbalize it or not, I was taught talking about yourself was bad. So I really didn't do that. And that's something I've had to kind of overcome as I continue to grow my business and what Let's Go Win's all about.
This is a great conversation to have. It's definitely transitioned for me over the last, let's say 13, 14 years. When I started out, I've always had confidence. And my whole thing is, if you have a lot of confidence in yourself, maybe sometimes it would come off as cocky or ignorant, but I would much rather have confidence than lack confidence and not be able to get to where I want to go. Because confidence allows you to sell that conviction in yourself, allows you to get through something, even if, let's say, I want to be a millionaire, but in that moment I'm broke. And that thought. So you got to like change, almost got to warp your own mind to believe something. But you look at it in terms of when I started out, and going back to my invention, Arctic Stick, I was in the ice business. I was always pitching. I was pitching in front of groups. I was on Shark Tank casting call. Never got called back, but I was on casting call. I was pitching in front of all kinds of groups. And so I had a lot of confidence and belief in where I was going. And I always did in front of the camera. Hey, we're going to create the next big show. We're going to go do this. And if I would have never had that confidence at the beginning, I wouldn't have won the Emmys. I would have never won anything in life, because nobody's going to attract somebody that is weak-minded in the sense of they don't have any confidence at all. I mean, even getting pitched, like, I buy into people. Like, if you say something to me and I can see the conviction in your eyes, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I'm in. And so that is what I had early on, and I still do, but in a different way. And that's what got people attracted to me. Now, when I started early on, sometimes it came off. I didn't realize it. I'm like this very confident, almost cocky, like I'm going to do this kind of guy. And some people didn't like that. But as I actually became more humble and saw almost bankruptcy and then made a shit ton of money and lost a shit ton of money and had some more things that kind of woke me up, I became more of, let's say, a humble person in how I did it. And so there's a way to go about sharing your successes and how you do it in a way that stills confidence, but isn't showboaty. It allows people to really like you. But I think one thing to share in this point is authenticity and vulnerability is powerful. The more you can just share the realness and share the vulnerability of what you've gone through, the more people will love you. Because not everybody can relate with somebody. I got tens of millions of dollars. I got a Lamborghini. I got a house. I'm successful. I won these awards. I did this. Somebody like, cool, that's awesome. How does that help me? And so there's a way to do it. And so I don't have to answer your question, but I will say early on, it's changed. Like at the beginning, I was so confident. I still am today, because you have to have a conviction and confidence in yourself, because if you don't, people won't believe in you.
No, it makes total sense. And here's the other thing. As you said, you made a lot of money, you lost a lot of money, then you reinvented yourself and did it again. I think there's an appreciation for what you built
Yeah,
the second time around as
there
well.
was.
And I'm speaking from direct experience as well. So
Yeah.
as painful as it was, it's so rewarding and fulfilling to get your absolute ass handed to you, get back up and prove to yourself that you can do it again. I think
Person too. It makes you, I believe it makes you a better person, stronger, and it gives you so much insight that most people won't ever see because they never push the envelope hard enough.
I want to talk to you about opportunity. And what my point in this is, you mentioned your business partner, who I believe you said was on Shark Tank. You mentioned that you were on a casting call for Shark Tank. I don't know if the two correlate, but what I'm seeing is, here's a guy that puts himself out there. First off, sees any opportunity. You got to put yourself out there. But it feels like, brother, when there's an opportunity there, you seize it. I want to ask you your thoughts on that because so often I'll talk to people and they're like, "Oh, I'm just not lucky," and it's kind of like the Dumber scene with the two guys that are watching the Hawaiian tropics bus go by, and they're like, "Well,
I love that film. Yes.
but that's, I feel that way when people are like, I'm not lucky. I'm like, bullshit. You are Harry and Lloyd on the side of the road. You are the opposite of that, Brandon. You seem to just capture, that's my feel. And I've talked to you for now 30 minutes. But is that kind of the sense, brother?
There is no loss. There's only opportunity. And I look back in my darkest times when I faced bankruptcy, thousands negative, half a million negative, and literally had my car repoed and had to get rid of literally lost everything. It presented a power in me that only if you had that happen, you would understand. And it was a power that made me so powerful that not only am I going to get back and succeed, but I'm going to do it stronger than ever. And I'm going to use this knowledge to apply it to make massive wealth and growth and tell that story to impact lives from this shithole situation I had. And so knowing that, I look at everything as an opportunity. Today, anything that would go wrong, I say, hey, what can I learn? And what can I do here to make this a win? What can I learn from this experience? And how can I use this to my advantage? There are no losses anymore. And that's my mindset. And even in the most messed up situations that happen to me, I have to justify in my own head of how this can be a positive outcome in terms of what happened. And it's hard for some people, whatever they're going through, to understand that until you actually I look at it this way. If I lost a bunch of money or somebody dies or something happens, I can sit and say how horrible it is and how much it's going to hurt my life. The life's coming over, or I can choose to look at the positive, because I'll tell you the negative is not going to help your situation. The positive is going to allow you to get out of that and get through it. And so that's how I look at it. And that's become really ingrained into my whole soul.
Man, what you talked about earlier with the video is extremely powerful, but what you just covered, I hope everybody heard it, because when you're getting your ass kicked, it's hard to be like, thank you. What can I learn? But that's what he just said, you guys. It's like, look, you can't see the light without the dark. And again, when he told you he had his car repoed, literally facing bankruptcy, it sounds like he didn't, and then no judgment one way or the other, but it sounds like his character was like, I'm
close,
not
but I didn't. Yeah, character said no.
But I think it's just so important, man, that people realize it's not all sunshine and rainbows on that road to the top. And I think people know that. If you read a story, watched a movie, you know that. But man, when I hate to watch people crumble, and that's what I love about your story, brother. It's like, it wasn't awesome. Like, okay, sold ice. Now I'm this there's a story there, man. And there's a lot to that. Want to talk a little bit more on the video, just because again, I know it's what you're so amazing at. And tell me more about Rise and Record, because you said that's a project with you and your wife.
Yeah.
People get involved in that, because again, this is how most people are sharing their life in the world.
Yeah.
Using this video, for those not watching, I'm putting up my phone. That's how most of us are sharing the story. So how can we get involved with Rise and Record? And how often does that happen?
So I'll first share the backstory of where it even came about, and I'll share how you can get involved. We were traveling the country. So in 2018, my wife and I, 2017, we're sitting on a beach in Puerto Rico, and we said, what are we going to do next? I just got done filming one of my shows. We weren't going to do another season. And I said, I want to live in 12 cities in 12 months. And after a couple more pina coladas, that became a yes. And then I said, let's film a TV series on it. You can be my co-host. Well, that took a lot more tequila to get that as a yes. And then we flew back from Puerto Rico, went back to Florida at the time, and we started planning this trip. We wanted to create this whole show around success. What is success? Really, the show was around the question, what is success? And so we had traveled around the country. This was a year before we're getting married, literally that whole year, we lived in different cities around the country. We were in Scottsdale, Arizona, Austin, Texas, Boston, Massachusetts, Denver, Colorado, Nashville, Tennessee. I mean, we were everywhere. And so we filmed with stories such as a two-time All-Star baseball player, to a musician, to a homeless person, to a billionaire, to all these very interesting people. And so I share this because I'm going to share like how it led to Rise and Record. For one, the question about what is success, really the answer is you ask yourself, what does success mean to you? Not what somebody else wants. What does it mean to you in your finances and your business and your love life, whatever? Ask that and then figure out how you're going to get that. But in terms of documentary and show, we were interviewing people on camera. They were pouring their heart out. And I saw it to be very therapeutic for them. But also, once we put these stories together and won some Emmys from it, those stories impacted so many lives. And I realized when people rise up and share their story, not only do they help more people and make more money, but it does something to their whole soul. It helps them as people. And that is what led to Rise and Record. And that's what led to my wife and I doing that, because we both shared our story camera. We saw the people. So Rise and Record is all about rising up, sharing your story, and doing it specifically through video. Yes, you can do your own shows and films and everything, but even starting with the phone. And so Rise and Record this year, it was in Florida last year. It's in Nashville, Tennessee this year, October 19th through the 21st. And bringing a lot of people together, a lot of great speakers and performers to help people tell their story.
So Brandon, what's next for you, brother? What are you working on? Is it more filming, I'm guessing? I know you have a lot of investments going on, a lot of recording. So what's next for you?
So I want to continue to just keep mastering my abilities with film and projects. We obviously have our big event coming up for Rise and Record. Beyond that, I mean, I have a lot of ideas in my head, but I want to stay focused and just keep crushing with what we're working on and enjoying life in the process. I'm going to do a lot of traveling. In the next 30 days, I'm on like 10 airplanes. So traveling, meeting cool people, speaking in front of groups, and living life, my friend. It's life is good.
Well, I love that, because obviously you learn so much as you travel. There's so many experiences. You realize how big the world really is. And at the same time, how many similarities. I'm guessing, do you have kids at this point, Brandon?
No kids. I do not have kids, and that's probably why I'm able to travel so much. No kids. I'm 32 and I am kidless.
No, that's cool. I enjoy every moment, whether you have kids or you don't, man. Soak it up. You mentioned Think and Grow Rich earlier as something that inspired you. And this show is all about growth mindset. It's about performance. It's about really, our ability to show up as our best selves. What other resources, whether that be books, which I'm a huge fan of, but we're talking about video, what are some other resources that you're like, man, I wish everybody knew about blah?
So Think and Grow Rich is a powerful one. I think that's a Bible that Bible to life, everybody should read. Another really good one, especially as you're starting to, let's say, make money and achieve success. Outwitting the Devil is pretty powerful. It's by Napoleon Hill. And the devil is literally the negative side in your head, but also the things that come at you as you achieve success. So that's a good one. And then I'd say the other one I'm obviously going to mention is the book my wife and I did called The Road to Success: How to Achieve Success in Business, Life, and Love, which is literally telling the story of the show that we created and almost losing everything in the process and then winning the Emmys. And so that tells a story, and it makes you look differently about what success even means. I would say those are probably the best. And then one other one my mentor did was, he wrote a book called Mentor to Millions. And it really shows you how to be a great mentee and then become a mentor. And being a great mentee can lead you to a lot of great opportunities, because if you're a success for your mentor, it allows you to accelerate your growth. And so those are my books.
That's amazing. And we will absolutely have people check those out. We'll get them linked in the show notes. I want to ask you, obviously your wife and you work closely together.
Yeah.
That's a talent in itself, brother. That is a skill set, because not every married couple can or probably should work together. But obviously you and your wife have navigated those waters. Do you have any thoughts for somebody that is considering working with someone close to them, whether that's their spouse or family member? Because I've found some things that have really helped, but I'm curious your thoughts as you and your wife have created so many amazing things together.
Yeah, it's not easy. Communication is key, open conversations, and both knowing what you're good at, what you're not good at, and how you can supplement each other. And I think the biggest thing is communication, constantly talking about it. I mean, it, it is not easy, especially when you're going after something big. And it's we've definitely, like, from creating TV shows and traveling the country together to doing events and doing companies. I'm always working at it. And so I guess my best advice is have a lot of conversation, be open to it, be open to different ideas and different perspectives, and then know what one person's good at, the other person's not, and so how can you supplement each other in the process. And not everybody's meant to work together. I mean, even like family members, be careful. Like, a lot of people want to go to business. I'm going to business, my brother, my sister, my family, or whatever. It's not meant for everybody, because it could ruin a relationship. And so just see if it makes sense, and if it is the right fit. But if it is, conversate a lot.
Yeah, I mean, communication, I think that's been the overall theme of the show today for sure. What did I not know enough to know to ask you, brother? You're like, you
Good question.
this. What did I not know enough to know to ask you?
Wow, that's I don't think I've ever had that question asked, so that's a good one. Know enough to ask me. I think some superpowers I've had that allowed me to achieve my version of success have been tactics in terms of how to build very strong relationships with very strategic people. And so the reason why I am where I am is because I found ways to get into business with some very powerful people, but I was in for the long game. It did not happen overnight. It was from putting on massive events around the country in terms of paying people, hiring them, adding value, showing up, giving so much value to them, helping them make money. I gained specialized knowledge in fundraising and film in different ways to help make people money. And then what happened is, after I made the money and showed I wasn't just some kid, those people wanted to help me too. And then those people end up being people I went into business with. It's no different than the Think and You're Rich story with Edward C. Barnes going into business with Thomas Edison. He knew who he wanted to go into business with, and eventually his opportunity presented itself. And so those are some things that I think I understand very well that not many people do. And that's why I'm where I'm at in certain business relationships. How can you add there's an exercise. Write down 10 people that you want to be in business with, or 10 people that already achieved what you want to achieve, and you want to figure out how to get there through them. Those 10 people, how can you add massive value to them with your specialized knowledge? How can you hire them, pay them, order their books, attend their events? How can you help them achieve their goals, do research on them, know more about them than sometimes they know about themselves? And then make that your sole focus. And if you do that with those 10 people, those people can be your greatest allies and assets that will allow you to get to where you want to go in a fraction of the time, make you more money than you could ever make on your own, and put you in a position that is, like, I call it the Willy Wonka, the cheat code or the golden ticket to the front of the line. You just have to be willing to put in that initial work to get into their circles. And then once you're there, the rest is history.
It's brilliant advice, man. It really is. And in your 32 short years, man, you've experienced some, man. You've seen the world, and you've created some pretty amazing stuff.
Just getting started.
I know you are, man. Brandon, where can they best connect with you, find your books, see what you're up to, man? How can they best connect with you online?
I am, my social media, I'm at Brandon T. Adams everywhere, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. Feel free to DM me. My website's brandonTadams.com. And if you're listening right now, you want to understand how to tell your story and use video, go to riseandrecord.com. I'm super excited. It's going to be a great event, and I'd love to have you there as well, Jan.
Well, I plan on going. I mean, A, I like Nashville. B, I want to get better at doing all these videos because it doesn't come second nature to me. Brandon, I appreciate you, man. You bring so much energy, so much knowledge, and as you said before, wisdom, which I'm a huge fan of you did it. So thank you, brother. I really had a great time.
Thank you.
I mean, look, guys, video is a huge part of what we do. And obviously, Brandon's done so much more than just that. Please go check him out. Go grab his books. Go to Rise and Record. I'll see you in Austin, or not Austin. That's going to be in Nashville. I may go to Austin afterwards, but I'd love to have you guys all there. And remember, let's share this. Let's get more people to know about who Brandon T. Adams is, and let's go win. Share it out with your friends. Make sure to subscribe. And remember, until next time, your mindset matters. I appreciate you all. We'll talk soon. Thank you so much for listening. If this content is delivering value to you, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review us. That helps us build this community, and that is what we are all about. Building this community as big as we can, helping as many people as we can, and deliver as much value as possible. Be sure to head over to letsgowinpodcast.com for information on my coaching courses, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Let's Go Win 365. Let's go win and transcend in life.
This is the Let's Go Win podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson.